Why are you making it a point to discuss a man's G-spot that isn't stimulated when women's G-spots aren't stimulated either, but women complain about it?
Okay. Well, first of all, I can't relate to the G spot not being reached thing. Sorry. Second, I was pointing out the contradiction that God created man in his image, which was perfection in his eyes. Then why would he give you a body part that you don't need? Why would he give you that? If it's so wrong to be GAY, why would he make sure that there's a pleasure point in your ass?
Well, that
That's
pleasure
not
Well,
point.
producing.
so
Hold on.
hold on.
I'm not finished. It's not for the purpose of reproducing children. Just like you mentioned, the clitoris is also not meant. It's not needed to produce children. Correct?
Why do you have
It's
it?
the same thing for the G spot. Hence, the pleasure spot outside of a woman can be reached by who? A woman as well as a man. Again, proving you're having an extra body part that's not necessary for reproduction that can also be used to please by another woman. So I'm asking you guys as believers, if God made you in his image, what would be the point of having those body parts and those extra extremities if it's not made for the purpose of reproduction with the opposite sex?
So
So
my response to that would be like, well, there are some women who have uteruses yet can't have children.
That's
Was the
not
purpose?
I have a
It,
much
it's the
better
same thing.
example.
So like it's the same thing. You have a whole body part in your body that is not being used.
why
and there
do
are
men have
men that
nipples?
and there are men that have bad sperm. What is your point?
Well,
That
so
literally
it's
makes
not always a man's though. So that's the thing.
I
If
didn't
we're
say
going
it
to
was
sit here and
always a
question
man.
the,
I
if we're going to
countered
sit
your
here and
point.
if we're going to sit here and question the creation of the G spot on a man, then why would a
And no
woman
one's been
who
able to
cannot
answer.
have children be born with a uterus?
Why do men have nipples? Like, what the fuck are we talking about right now?
Exactly. Thank you
No,
for making
that
my point. Why do men
Hold
have
on.
nipples?
I gotta.
whoa! I haven't made a point you said yet. Well, I
You
assure
did
you,
make
I
a
have
point.
not agreed with
It's another
anything you
body part
said.
that you feel is
I
unnecessary for
pride
men.
myself on
Please
being
explain why
logical
your
and
God
having
gave you.
logical conversations and stances, and yours, ma'am, is anything but.
Why did your
I
God
just
give
Go
you?
ahead, Mon.
asked,
I'll go after you.
All right.
why do if it's not about if it's about the utility of the thing, that means the purpose is this, which is her premise. Why do men have nipples?
Ask your
Yeah,
God.
hold on,
You're making my
Jazz.
point right
Hold
now.
this my this. Hold
Why
on,
are
this my,
you, why would he
DJ,
give you a body part
this
that
shit
you
is
don't
so easy.
need?
Now we just gotta let
hold
her
on,
talk, and it'll die.
No, it would
hold on.
be no, it'd be nice for you to actually answer the question.
So
This is how
Jazz,
y'all reflect. When
Jazz,
you
I
can't
want to challenge.
answer a question, this is what you do, right? You just
No,
gave
I
me
just don't
a
answer
body
stupid
part that
questions
you
for
guys
free.
don't need, and you haven't been able to explain why. It
Yeah,
doesn't tell you in the Bible why. These are other body parts that you don't need that God gave you. Make
gotcha.
it make sense.
So Jazz, I want to challenge your logic. Okay. Are you saying that because the G spot, because the G spot is inside of a man's butt, so they say, your claim is that it's designed to be there to be penetrated.
I would imagine so, unless you have another reason why it's there.
Okay, so you would imagine so. So are you saying that because if if a woman feels a lot of a sensation on her neck when it's licked, are you saying it's designed to be licked? And that's the only thing that
I guess
that's the only
so.
conclusion. It's
She
designed to
doesn't
be
get
licked there.
pregnant. She can't get pregnant by her neck. So yeah, I would assume so was from pleasure.
Okay,
Foreplay.
because some women have pleasure there, so other women don't have pleasure there. The same way that
Right.
some women have pleasure in their nipples, other women don't.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie made a good point. Why do we have nipples?
Yeah.
Right? I think you're operating under the idea that if we can feel good by touching it, it's designed to be touched that way sexually. And I don't think that's a really a sophisticated position to have, because there are many things that we can, like, it's many things that we have that might feel good to certain individuals. Certain women might like their feet soles touched, that might make them feel good. It might arouse them, right? Versus other women, if that makes sense. So the idea that, oh, it's in your butt, and I was conditioned to think that it's designed to be stimulated, then that must be what it's there for. And I think that's a arrogant position to take.
It's an arrogant
It's
one.
a
Oh my,
logical
Yeah,
I feel
because
like that word is being heavily misused.
I'll tell you why I used it. I
But
think
again, if you can't give a reason as to why it's there,
yeah.
but you know it's a pleasure point, and your God gave you something. Although
Mark,
there's clearly
Hold on, real quick. I just
something that shouldn't be happening.
I just got to. I think arrogant was used properly because I say it's arrogant because I can say that I don't know, right? You're not willing to take that position. You're taking the position of you do know, and you're calling it a pleasure spot, right? You're thinking that you know things, and you want to. And humans like to think that we know stuff, right? We like to have think we got answers. I like to search for answers. You think you have them already. That's why I think your position is arrogant because you're like, oh, it's a pleasure spot. It's a pleasure spot. It's there for pleasure. You're supposed to put your penis on it. I don't agree with that.
I never said you were supposed to. I said that you have no proof that it's not supposed to. I said that I asked why your God would give you body parts that you don't need if he made you perfectly. And none of you have been able to answer that. Y'all are trying to maneuver and do all this ducking and dodging and shit and trying to turn what I said into something else. I'm not promoting or condemning anything. I'm asking you if your God is real.
Abby next, JR.
If he gave you body parts that you supposedly need, how can you explain these body parts? I don't understand.
Why do you have 2 kidneys? Why do you have?
Wait, can we just get to the bottom of this?
We're not going to compare kidneys to that. That doesn't.
Why not? Make that make sense. Why we can't compare?
You need at least one of your kidneys, sir.
You need one of them. You don't need 2.
You need at least one of them. Again, making my point. Why were you giving 2?
You need one. You don't need 2. And do you believe that there are other body parts that you don't need?
No, not really.
You're not willing. Okay, I'll come back. No, I'll come back to that, and I'll educate you on all the body parts that you don't actually.
There's no way you can educate me. You don't even know what's in your own butthole.
Okay, so I can't. So that's an arrogant position to take. That's the second time you've been arrogant
that
tonight.
was arrogant, but what I said before was not. Just because you didn't like it doesn't mean it was arrogant.
I've articulated how it was arrogant.
Again, because you can't answer any of my questions, and instead of admitting,
why entertain it, Mont? You see, she's playing she's playing with you.
I'm not playing anything.
This is the most FaceTime.
I'm not playing about shit. I want to know how your God is real and that he made you in his image. If he gave you body parts you don't need, that's all I ask.
We don't even have to get so much into that part, but let's just pause and get to the reality of it. The G spot that we're talking about is the prostate, which the main purpose is male reproduction, producing vital fluids like semen and such, right? That's what we're talking about. So it actually has a purpose, but then you can ask yourself, does it need to be touched internally in order to be stimulated?
Are you asking each other or what?
No, man. Why don't you ask your dad? Why don't you ask your father? You said your father's a
First of all, don't bring up my dad. He don't play in his butt. Don't worry about my dad.
So
we don't either, but you asking us.
Don't do that.
We don't either, but you asking us.
Around about his age. So
okay, well, ask your goddamn daddy.
Real quick.
Ask your goddamn daddy, man. Go to your father and ask him a question. Why does he got a G-spot in his asshole? Go ask your daddy.
Respectful, y'all. Hold on. DJ trying to finish, y'all. DJ trying to finish.
This speaks to the arrogance, right?
This is a Christian.
This speaks to the arrogance.
When they hear
hold on, Jazz. Let DJ finish.
This speaks to the arrogance. You're not a man. But you're telling men,
thank goodness for that.
And obviously, the impulse control is that of a. But you're not a man.
You have talked over me. Don't play those games. You're
not a man.
So don't do that.
You claim to know how our bodies work.
Please don't.
If you actually took the time to even look it up, you would recognize that no, a man's prostate does not need insertion in order for him to be stimulated. So
I never said that.
I never said it. We're talking about the G spot, okay? That's what it's pertaining to. All right.
And I never said a man needed that.
We also proved earlier that there is a passage that says it is wrong for you to do so with a man. The fact that you think it's written by a man doesn't matter. You said that there was a man. It doesn't matter because you said, your words were that there is no passage. We showed you there is a passage.
No, I said
secondly, I'm just trying to finish. Secondly, I just showed you that it doesn't need to be stimulated by insertion, meaning your premise, both as far as the passage and the anatomy, is incorrect. and it would behoove you to be a little bit more humble about the male anatomy instead of just acting like you know what you're talking about. Willie, I yield the floor.
Oh my God. Oh man.